let's jump right into this explainer. Today, we're diving headfirst into a deeply unsettling but absolutely vital philosophical text by Mohammed Al-Shurafa Al-Hammadi. We're going to look at a radical reframing of the whole human experience. It's really an exploration of just how easily we can be led astray, and not by obvious mustache-twirling evils, right? But by the very things we've been taught to trust our entire lives.
Now think about this for a second. What if you lived your whole life absolutely convinced you were on the right path, only to discover at the very end that you were walking in the complete opposite direction? Imagine that terrifying possibility of lifelong self-deception, pouring all your time, your energy, your unwavering faith into a path you thought was righteous, only to find out you were walking away from the truth the entire time. No way, right? Well, how does someone even end up in that position? The author points directly to where this deception actually starts. Which brings us to our first section, the real battle inside yourself.
You know, it's so incredibly easy for us to point fingers outward, to look at conflicts between nations or even just our neighbors and see that as the primary struggle of life. But the author argues something different. He says our ultimate conflict isn't against the world at all, it's against our own souls. This is the real battlefield. It's that quiet daily fight against our own impulses, our own egos, and that heavy tendency we all have to seek out what is easy over what is actually right.
Next up, Section 2, Man is created in kabad.
So, let's unpack this foundational concept of kabad. We're not just talking about getting physically tired or, having a rough day at the office. Kabad means you're constantly being pulled between two paths, and you have to consciously make a choice. It's a continuous existential tension. You're always in a state of being tested, constantly navigating this intense push and pull between your higher reasoning and your base desires. It never really stops. And a specific verse from Surah Al-Balad really anchors the author's whole thesis. We have certainly created man into hardship. We were never meant to live in absolute untested comfort in this world. Life is designed by its very nature to be a continuous test of our choices. Recognizing this state of kabad is honestly the first step to actually surviving it. Because if you expect life to just be this frictionless, easy ride, well, you're already falling into a trap. Take the story of Iblis or Satan, for example. His true sin wasn't denying God's existence. I mean, according to the text, Satan actually spoke directly to the Creator. He literally knew God existed. But when he was commanded to bow to Adam, he refused simply because he thought he was better. He elevated his own ego, his own flawed logic as his ultimate authority. And that, the author stresses, is the true root of disbelief, letting your own personal desires override a direct divine command.
Moving on to Section 3, the illusion of guidance and Satan's deception.
Here's the thing. Satan doesn't just tap you on the shoulder and politely ask you to do evil. As we learn from Surah Al-Anfal, he doesn't use physical force. Instead, he manipulates our perception, making terrible deeds look righteous and totally justified. He can't physically force you to do a single thing. His power lies entirely in altering your awareness, making the wrong path look incredibly, undeniably right. So much so that people can be committing grave injustices while completely convinced they're doing holy work. And this leads to a pretty bold, reformist claim by the author. He argues that certain religious figures actually act as Satan's allies. How? By elevating questionable human heritage over the pure Quran to trick people into this state of total complacency. It's a fascinating, provocative argument. He points out that some scholars claim human narrations can actually overrule absolute divine verses. They basically hand people a VIP pass to heaven based on simple rituals or just belonging to the right group, completely bypassing the hard work of actual ethical living and accountability.
Which brings us to Section 4, how are fake religions formed?
According to the text, fake religions aren't necessarily brand new, distinct faiths. Actually, they're corrupted versions of the truth, slowly built on top of human desires and historical myths. It's this creeping, gradual process. Over generations, pure revelation gets all mixed up with folklore, human conflict, and this urge to sanctify objects or people, like tombs or historical monuments. Eventually, this creates a beautifully decorated religious system that actually acts as a massive barrier, completely stopping people from thinking critically for themselves. Let's look at Section 5, Salvation in Returning to the Quran. After deconstructing all of these widespread illusions, the author points us toward the only authentic lifeline available. It's a shift from the thick fog of deception into the clear, open light, a concept called tanwir, or enlightenment, and it happens through the Quran. It's all about breaking free from those inherited, unquestioned traditions that just cloud our judgment. But the author isn't just telling us to blindly read the text. He's urging us to use it as an active compass, to filter out falsehoods and critically challenge the beliefs we inherited. Too often, texts of guidance are just ritualistically recited for blessings, without a single thought given to what the words actually mean. True salvation, he argues, requires us to use the text as a practical, diagnostic tool for our own minds and our societies. Take a look at Surah Al-Imran, for example. It literally commands us to give thought to the creation. It proves that deep reflection and critical thinking aren't just, fun intellectual luxuries. They are absolute existential requirements. A faith that asks you to turn off your brain and just blindly follow the crowd, well, according to this analysis, that faith is fundamentally flawed.
And finally, Section 6, the moment of truth and individual accountability.
When it comes down to the ultimate consequence of this lifelong internal struggle, the author completely strips away all of our excuses. Relying on a group identity, a specific sect, or a favorite scholar, that will not save you when you are judged as an individual. You simply cannot outsource your spiritual or moral responsibility. You can't stand there at the very end and say, well, my local leader told me it was okay. The burden of truth-seeking rests squarely, 100%, on your own shoulders. And that brings us to this terrifying final speech from Satan in hell, found in Surah Ibrahim. It is the ultimate wake-up call. He basically says, I had no authority over you. I just invited you and you responded. It's a chilling realization, isn't it? The great deceiver openly admits he had zero real power. He just painted a pretty picture, and we chose to walk right into the frame. Because, honestly, it was easier than fighting that grueling battle within our own souls.
So I want to leave you with this final thought to reflect upon. At the very end of your journey, will you be standing on the solid ground of truth or falling into the trap of your own beautiful illusions? Are your beliefs truly your own, or have you just been blindly following the path of least resistance? The struggle is yours to own, and the clarity you need requires stepping out of those comfortable illusions we so easily accept. Keep asking the hard questions, keep challenging what you inherit, and we'll catch you on the next explainer.
مؤسسة رسالة السلام العالمية، رسالة إنسانية لعالم أكثر سلاماً.